What's up, fellow Sambarians and well, just truck car owners with visors in general. You've probably noticed if you have an older K car, the visors are probably pretty faded. Some are cracked. If you're lucky, they're not cracked and they're just faded, and we can fix that. It's very easy. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. A little life hack again. Depending on your model, they can range from $40 up to $120. I noticed the Honda Acti ones are fairly inexpensive. I'm importing Acti right now, so I'm trying to stock Acti parts, Honda Acti parts, and I was checking out visors and they're very cheap, which is nice. But if you have yourself a Sambar, you'll notice they're not very cheap. I mean, they're 120, 150, depending on where you're buying them. So I mean, personally, I think it's worth it. I've bought a new set for my truck, but if your truck or car, van isn't exactly a show car and you just kind of want it to look good, this stuff's gonna work for you. So if you got some time and some patience and the aptitude of learning how to wrap something pretty simple, then follow along. If not, maybe just skip ahead and see how it looks, and then it can convince you to do it yourself. But it's very easy. So what I'm going to do is actually just leave the visors on the car because they're stuck still, and if they're on the car, it makes it easier to wrap because we don't have two hands. Unless you got another body and you want to take them off and 3M sticky it, that's very easy too. Just use a heat gun, soften up the glue, and then I take something like they make like squeegees that are hard squeegees for wrapping and stuff, and you can just slowly get the sticky off. And I use something called rapid tack adhesive remover, and that stuff works miracles. And I think it's just like orange peel juice too, so it's crazy and it works really good. So anyways, this is Luxe light wrap. This is the dark. There's 3 levels, so this is the dark one. There's a medium and then there's light. I'm just gonna go with the dark because I have a light and I think it's gonna match pretty much what it looks like right now, and we don't want that. We want it to look dark, kind of like the factory ones. So as far as taking them off goes, you'll see on the Subarus anyways, I'm not sure how other ones are, there are clips, little buttons, and those buttons are held on by little clips that go underneath your your weather stripping. So you just pull oh man, that's what I hate about the old weather stripping. You pull the old weather stripping down, and then you'll see that your clip is just on the body fold in the window there, and then you would obviously just heat up the adhesive and then peel the visor off very carefully because it's brittle and it's going to break. So you want to make sure that the adhesive is pretty soft before you go yanking it off. But we're just going to take the buttons out and let the glue do the holding for us, so we don't have to worry about it moving around while we're trying to wrap it. Let's see. Now that I have black stuff all over my hands. Yeah, and also if you're tired of that black stuff, I would just take some soap and water or some kind of cleaner, really scrub and clean it. And then there's this Honda grease, Honda grease, it's a white tube and it's a white grease, and you can rub that on there and it kind of replenishes it and kind of stops the black. Because if you notice, if you wash it and you touch it, it gets everywhere and it's a pain in the butt. So, or just replace your weather stripping like I did on my other truck because I got tired of it. And I don't think the stripping was very expensive either. But let's get started. Let's go ahead and get these buttons off. So those buttons are just like a push pin. So So I have like a pick set, and we're going to just push them out because we don't want to ruin them. We want to save them. So just get underneath it and push on the bottom of it, push it out, and she's coming right out. And then at that point, you want to very carefully pry it out underneath the clip, the base of the clip. I'll show you when I get it out. It's almost there. There she is. So, let's see. I'm very close to you, sorry. This is awkward. So there it is. Can't really focus on it, but you just want to be careful not to break these little prongs when you're prying it up, and you're just going to push on the bottom of it, and it will push this guy out. So then when you go to feed it back in there, you'll push those little, it's like squid, push the little squid tentacles in, and then slide it in, and then reset it. So let's pop all these guys out. Being very careful. Oh, well, that one just came out all together, so that's okay. And if it's a pain, if it's a super pain in the butt to get them out, you could just wrap around them, but it just makes it a little difficult to trim it, and it's cleaner, looks cleaner if you can just get over the wrap itself. Bingo. Okay, all three. And I'm just gonna show you one visor because they're all the same. Essentially the same concept on each one. Pushing that pin out and then wrapping this visor. So we got those pin outs. We got those pins out. Now let's get it cleaned up and kind of prepped. So I have isopropyl alcohol, 70%. Let's get it all cleaned up. Want to make sure that we get every bit of residue off around the bottom of it, on the lip. Just want to make sure it's very, very clean. Okay, so that's clean. Now you can do this one of two ways. If you're confident with the razor blade, being one of these guys, it's got more of an angle, so it's easier to cut, more of a tip. I'm not a fan of the ones that you can get at like Home Depot because it doesn't have a sharp angle like that. You can get these off of Amazon, pretty cheap. This is a Vivid Vinyl one. They're on Amazon again with these blades. So if you're confident with a blade, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to wrap up to the lip here. So if you're confident with the blade, you can cut along the bottom of that lip and then you get, your finish. But if you're not confident with the blade, we're going to do it this way just for demonstration purposes. If you've never seen this stuff before, it's knifeless tape. It's a 3M knifeless tape, so it's basically like kind of like a spider wire if you're a fisherman. It's that fishing line that doesn't break, so if you get snagged on something, you basically just have to throw your rod in the lake and start over. It's a filament inside this this tape, and basically it will cut the vinyl for you. So we're just going to use this again for demonstration. I'll cut it by hand on the other ones, but what you do is you give yourself like a good 2 or 3 inches overhang on each end. Put it in the groove. And don't like stretch this stuff, you just want to feed it into it. Because if you stretch it, it'll start to lift off. And this is what's great about this stuff, is if you can't get a straight cut or a straight line, just go all the way through. Kind of like pinstriping. There we go. That's pretty good. And then we're going to feed it down to the front. Just following that groove. Perfect. So now if you got this blade, it actually has like an inner cut right there, that little groove. Yeah. We'll cut it maybe. Maybe we'll cut it. Never mind. Don't listen to me, that doesn't work. Move this back down. And you just want to make sure that thing's stuck in there, because you don't want it to come off while you're mid tinting. And if you've done like taillight wraps or something in the past, this stuff is it's the same exact thing. Very, very similar. Okay, perfect. Also, I should mention you're gonna need a heat gun. If you have a heat gun or you don't have a heat gun, you can pick one up, probably Harbor Freight for 20-30 bucks or something. They're not very expensive, but you're gonna need it to heat and stretch the material. Okay. Now, what's great about this is you can use, it's 20 inches wide, or 24 inches wide. Let's see. Yeah, 20 inches wide. And we can get 2 front visors with it. 2 for the price of 1. Again, this can be bought off of Amazon as well. Cut it right there. Okay. So we're going to want to trim this piece in half. Okay, we're a little bit short, but that's totally okay because we're going to heat and stretch it anyways. Let's see. We're going to take our heat gun and plug it in. So what you're going to want to do is set anchor one side down. Anchor one side. And then, now that it's anchored, we're going to heat it up. And you're going to want it to be a little gummy, but don't melt it. So Give it a good distance while you're heating it. You'll feel when it starts to heat, it'll start to move in your hands a little bit, stretch down. Okay, now we're gonna hold it over, stretch it down. And you'll see these lines right here, that's totally okay. We want lines going that way. Kind of let it hook around that down there so it'll pull back on itself. And you can use a wrap glove or a squeegee to help smooth it all down. And let's say you for the sake of it, you screwed up and you're like, oh shoot, man, I'm just ruined that sheet. Pull it off. Don't get frustrated. Pull it off. Kind of give it an anchor point, heat it up, and the vinyl will go back to how it was before. So it's totally okay. It's totally okay. Pretty good. I mean, shoot, look at that. And you want the lines to be running this direction because then that allows you to pull down and it gets them out. If the lines are running this direction, then you didn't stretch it enough. And then what that means is when we go to heat it back up, like a post heat, it's going to cause all this vinyl to grab in, and so it's going to just kind of hug the outsides. And we're looking for that hug. Go speed racer. Go speed racer. Okay. Man, that looks pretty good for not being long enough and making it work. Fix that corner over there a little bit. Okay, so we have a lot of tension right here, as you can see, so we need to release that tension so we get a better finish. Now that should kind of suck in a little bit. Yep, exactly what we wanted it to do. And we'll finish this down here. That end. I mean, honestly, this looks exactly like the one, brand new one on my other truck. So I'd say this stuff works pretty good. Let's give it a trim. And I just let the blade follow the edge of the visor. We're gonna go back through there and keep that all up again one more time. Be careful when you're trimming, don't hit your finish, your knifeless tape. So you're going to want to go around the edges and heat it up to kind of seal it. All right. Super important that these are very sharp. So always change your blade halfway through, whatever. You need a sharp blade. That's good. Okay, so now the finish, the knifeless tape part. So what the trick is to this stuff is you kind of bend it over on itself, and then snap it up, and it will cut through the tape. So then once you get up to the material, you're going to snap it again so it cuts into it, and then you're going to want to go straight, kind of as close as you can to it. You don't want to go straight out. You want to go in front of it, as close to it as possible, so it gives it a clean cut. fresh. I'll go around it one more time. Squeegee. God dang, man, that looks good. And then I will go over it one more time with some heat. Sucking in those, getting those corners sucked in. Let the edges seal up. And there she goes. Let's see. All right, so as you can see, there's my finish line, or my knifeless tape line, all the way. And then we have a good cut on the bottom. I'd say that looks pretty dang close to factory. There's my tinted one and the old one. So yeah. Okay, so actually on the passenger side, I did this one different and wrapped to the edge over the sticky tape clear part, just to kind of see how difficult that was. That was very easy as well. So now it looks like a real legit visor. I mean, you can hardly even tell. So you can, just takes a little more time because there's this gap, this ledge or crease right here. So you're just gonna wanna feed the vinyl into that and then go out. You don't wanna try to stretch across it, otherwise you'll get some air trapped in there, and you may get it down now, but once it sits in the sun, it's gonna pull right back up. So feed into that and then go out and then get it to the edge, and then just follow the line on the edge of the visor, and yeah, now it looks a little better. So I pulled the other one off. Yeah, so let's go ahead and put those little buttons back in. I'll take a little poker and get the hole poked started. And then we'll take the little squid legs. I'll take the little squid leg part and put it in first. Might be a little difficult because the vinyl's on there. Just kind of open up the hole a little bit. And make sure that when you stick it through there, it goes through the back clip. There we go. One button in. As you push it in, turn it, and then it'll kind of let the little squid legs go into the hole on the clip, because it's kind of tricky trying to get through that. But yeah. There we go. And it will last quite a long time. I'm guessing. I mean, a few years. Probably longer than the visor's probably gonna last itself. But I mean, dang, look at that. Pretty good. Luxe. Light wrap. Amazon. I buy it in the roll from my supplier, but you can buy it from Amazon a few feet. So just measure up your visors and order what you need. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole band, but I mean, you saw pretty much how to do it. These ones, the back ones, are actually gonna be a little easier, because all you gotta do is pulls straight across. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. If you need any parts or anything that I don't have in my store that I have linked, just hit me up. Perfect example, guy last night, he wants some fuel filters for his fuel injected van. I don't have them, and I don't really stock them, but I ordered a few, so I have stuff coming from Japan all the time. So if you need anything, just let me know and I'll throw it on the next shipment of parts coming in. But yeah, cool. Really appreciate it, guys, if you stuck through and watched it. Hopefully you find this stuff useful. If not, hopefully it's entertaining. All right, cool. Take it easy, guys.